Hi, my name is Tim Veeder. I have been teaching music for about 15 years, and I have been playing professionally for the better part of 20 years. I actually remember it vividly. I was hanging out with my friend Aaron at a festival, at a church festival in our hometown, and my cousin was playing in a band, playing saxophone in a band. And we were talking about what we wanted to be when we grew up. I think we were in middle school at that point. And I just looked on stage and I said, you know what? I think I want to do that when I grow up. He's my mentor and my cousin, and pretty big part of why I am what I am today. In college, I started playing in some, top 40 R&B, funk, blues bands on the tenor saxophone. And then I started playing in some big bands. And when you play big band music, a lot of the saxophone parts, you have to double on flute and clarinet. A lot of the Duke Ellington, Count Basie music, you are required to do that. So even though I was learning them in college for music ed, I had to become even more proficient on those so I could get gigs. And I actually fell in love with playing the flute and the clarinet almost as much as playing the saxophone. There are quite a few groups that I work with. There are a few that I would say I'm the core member of the group, or at least I'm the first call sax player of the group. I lead my own quartet, my own trio, my own quintet. So I play with a number of different bands, and it's great because I get exposed to many different styles of music. Well, when you're a freelance musician, especially in my situation where I'm a freelance musician in many different styles, top 40, blues, R&B, and jazz, you do have to know a lot of tunes. I have a number of different songs in my iPad, so if a tune shows up that I don't know, I always have it ready. Back in the day, before iPads, I know a lot of the kids I'm teaching don't know what those days are like. Back in the Stone Age, a lot of us carried these huge reel books with us that were 500-600 pages long and weighed tons. If I have a jazz gig coming up, I spend the week before listening to jazz. If I'm going to play a blues gig, I spend the week before listening to more blues than I normally would. The gig that stands out in my mind most recently that was just amazing to me, I actually had the chance to play at the top floor of the World Trade Center. And it was a private party. So the gig itself wasn't anything special, but being in the observatory of the World Trade Center, and looking out and looking at all of New York and basically all of New Jersey and Long Island, it was just an absolutely amazing experience, and I'll never forget it. Haunting, though it was in September, so we were all thinking of what happened that day. But it was just a truly amazing experience that I'll never forget. I was playing, some concerto, and I was doing a cadenza, and I had my first out-of-body experience ever, where I had practiced this cadenza for so long, and I had gotten it right in the rehearsal room, of course. By the time I got there in the performance, I actually I remember this vividly. I was watching myself play the cadenza, and it was going incredibly well until my baby sister started crying. And then I snapped back into my body, and that's when I started messing it up. Luckily, that's the tail end. But for those few seconds, it was just the most magical, wonderful experience that I wasn't playing my saxophone, it was playing itself. And it was just wonderful, and it's happened to me a couple times since then, and that's what I strive for as a musician, to recreate that anytime I can. In the world of saxophone, I'd say my main influences are Dexter Gordon, Joshua Redman, Michael Brecker, Bob Mincer, Chris Potter, Joe Henderson. I'd be remiss if I didn't say Charlie Parker. I'd say my biggest musical influence is obviously my cousin John. Sax player, he taught me Through high school, he's still one of my best friends, my confidant. He's like an older brother to me. But really, when they're choosing an instrument, well, what I tell all of my friends when their kids are choosing instruments, first, the best instrument to start out on is piano. That gives you the foundation for any other instrument you're going to play, whether it be percussion or a wind or a brass or a string instrument. And then when they're choosing one of those instruments, they should really choose an instrument that they fall in love with. Take the opportunity, use the resources that they have that I never had, like YouTube and the internet. Research all the instruments. There's some wonderful trombonists out there, baritone players, French hornists, that they can hear at the drop of a hat and really hear what those instruments are capable of. Playing an instrument, it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be hard, just never give up. Never say, I can't do it, I say, I can't do it yet. It's going to be tough, you're going to run into a lot of barriers, but as long as you keep trying, you will get there eventually. It's also, I like puzzles, and every kid is different, so it's a great puzzle for me that when I can teach a certain skill one way to one kid, but it won't work with another kid, so I have to find a different way, and I have to find out exactly what's going to work for every kid. My favorite instrument, it's strange, my favorite instrument to play, obviously, is the saxophone. But my favorite instrument to listen to is a well-played French horn. Least favorite instrument to listen to is a poorly played French horn.